I'm a 5 handicapper. These are my normal irons, and this is a set of blades. Let's take them to the golf course and see what happens. Standard first tee push into the trees. So, why have I put these blades in my bag? Well, basically, I've been thinking about buying new irons for about 4 years now.
No reason to rush into things, that's all.
So my current irons are Ping I-25, and before that I had a set of Ping I-2s. Basically, I've only ever had hand-me-down irons. I've never actually picked a set or been custom fitted for any.
You poor thing.
I've been in love with the Mizuno MP18 since they came out last year.
You're beautiful.
I also like the Callaway Apex MB and the TaylorMade P730, but as you may have noticed, they're all blades. Blades are a bit of a funny one because for every single person that swears by them, there's another person that says, why are you using blades? Why don't you use a club that's more forgiving, that makes the game a bit easier? This camera is really heavy.
You better man up.
If it really was as simple as blades make the game harder, as some people seem to think, then surely nobody in the world would use them. I mean, loads of tour pros use blades, and obviously tour pros hit the ball better and more consistently than I do, but they still don't hit every shot perfectly, and obviously they're playing for, you know, prizes and lots of money, so if they could use clubs that actually made it a little bit easier to score well, they would do that. So yeah, surely it can't just be a case of blades make the game harder and they come with no benefits, otherwise nobody in the world would be using them. But the simple fact is, I don't know whether blades would make the game harder for me or not. A lot of people actually say that blades are better in terms of distance consistency. So with these kind of new super game improvement power bat irons, you can sometimes get a situation where 1 minute you hit your 7-iron 160 yards, and the next minute, for no reason that you can work out, you hit like 190 yards, which is obviously good for your ego, but not very helpful if you've just airmailed the green. Whereas people who like blades tend to say that, you know, they get more consistent distances out of them. But then people who don't recommend blades say that you get more forgiveness with a miss hit with a cavity back, so you'll actually get closer to the kind of distance that you wanted, whereas with a blade you'll get a bigger drop off. So I mean, who knows? I don't know whether forgiveness is an actual thing or just a load of marketing nonsense. And then I've looked and I've not seen anywhere a proper test or any kind of proof that can actually show me whether blades are less forgiving, you know, whether they give you better control, anything. So I don't know. I will say now that I don't for a second think that this video is going to answer this question and everyone's then going to know whether or not they should get blades. I just thought it'd be nice really to have a bit of a discussion about it. So comment down below, do you use blades? Have you ever tried blades? Do you think that everyone should be using them? Do you think that nobody should be using them? Whatever you think, just comment down below and I'll read them all. So a mate of mine has very kindly lent me his old set of Mizuno MP33 blades. There they are. Now these came out about 20 years ago, and the grips on these ones are absolutely knackered, but in fairness the heads, they're a little bit worn out, but I mean design wise they still look pretty fresh. If these came out now, I'd be looking at them thinking that's a good looking blade. Now obviously I could put them on a launch monitor and compare them to my own irons and that kind of thing, but I kind of know what would happen if I did that, so they'd probably be almost a club shorter than mine because the lofts are pretty much, well, not quite, but almost a club shorter. So my irons aren't crazy strong lofts, but these Mizuno ones are very old school traditional lofts. So the 7-iron I think is 36 degrees, to mine's 33. Obviously nowadays you can get 7-irons at 30 degrees, even less, you know, some are 27 degrees, which would be more like, I don't know, the 4-iron or something out of these. But also I know fully well that I can hit them well at the range. I've taken blades to the range before and hit them, and you know, they go well. But when I do that, people who are kind of anti-blade will say to me, well, that's all well and good hitting it off a perfect lie on the driving range, but you know, what about on a windy day when you're hitting out of the rough and all that kind of stuff? And obviously that's a fair point. You know, when you get irons or any clubs, it's because you need to use them on the golf course, not just because you want to hit nice shots on the range. So I thought fairest thing to do really would just be to bring them out onto the course, hit the different kind of shots that you have to hit in a round of golf, and see what happens. So I've hit one of them so far, that kind of shot out the trees, which I use a little 4-iron, little low cut, got me kind of just short of the green and got up and down. So far so good. Okay, so I've hit the middle of the fairway on the second. I've got 175 yards to a back pin, so normally I'd be thinking, obviously you don't want to go long with that. I'd probably be hitting a little 6. My 6-iron carries about 170. So with these, obviously I don't know how far I hit these. I might just hit a 6 and see if I come up a mile short or what happens. Scratch that, it's a little bit into the wind, so I'm going to hit a little 5. Hope I don't shank it into the camera. Oh my god. That was horrendous. Okay, well that was a horrific pull draw. I mean the grips, I don't want to make excuses, but the grips are terrifying. I genuinely feel like the club is going to come flying out my hands. So yeah, not ideal, that one. Yeah, we'll go and see if we can find that. Heard it hit some timber. Oh, lovely autumn golf where every leaf looks like a golf ball. Well, that's not a great start. First full shot and it's looking like I might have lost the ball. Ah, bingo. Not ideal, but it is about pin high. Just pop you down there. Very happy with that. Okay, got this coming up for par. It looks like it's about, I don't know, 6 feet away. Pretty miraculous chip, to be honest, from a smelly lie kind of under a tree and then onto the green. See if we can roll this in. It's quite a tricky opening here at this course, so if you can make 2 pars to start, you're pretty happy. Even if I'm sort of 1 over through 2, I'll class that as a decent enough start. Look downhill just off the left. Not that much off the left. Okay, I mean that was a shocking putt, but like I said, par bogey start isn't the worst here. Got a little par 3 coming up now, which depending on the wind and where the pin is should only be like a wedge or a 9-iron. Hopefully hit my iron a little bit straighter than I did the last one. Okay, so I've got 120 to the hole, it's on a front pin. The wind's off the left, I don't think it's really hurting that much, so I'm just going to hit a wedge and see where that ends up. I say that a lot, don't I? See where it goes, see where that ends up. Obviously you're going to see where it ends up, you're just going to hit it and then forget about it, are you? Oh. Whoa, that's very close. Right, hit that a little bit out the toe. Quite a bit out the toe. And it's come up just short, I think. Might have been a little bit heavy as well, looking at where the divot was just behind the tee. So yeah, just short. See if we can chip this in. Horrible. Absolute dunchy contact, and it's, well, done well really to get to about 5 feet, but that was not a good chip. That is not good. It is never nice to drop a shot there really. 120 yard par 3. Right, next hole is about 300 yard par 4. The normal way to play it is to kind of hit an iron to the corner and then the green's down here somewhere. Lately I've been hitting a 3-wood over this tree trying to get on or around the green, but obviously that's no good for the blades test, so I'm just going to hit a 7-iron probably down to the corner. That should leave me about 130 maybe in. That's the plan. I hit that really solid, but it's a push into the trees. I'm just going to hit another one, see if I can get a bit more raw on it. Yeah, that's alright. One thing a lot of people say is that you can't beat the feel of a blade. Now, I'm not totally sure that I buy that, because when I hit my clubs out the middle, mine are obviously cast cavity backs, you know, kind of blade aficionados will probably look down on them quite a lot, but when I hit them out the middle, I mean, they feel as pure as anything. And also, as far as I'm aware, there's no such thing really as feel, it's just sound, and obviously your mind then kind of interprets that sound into what different strikes sound like and, you know, therefore feel like. Obviously, if you absolutely thin one or chunk it, you're going to be able to feel the difference in that. But I've seen videos before where people have hit shots with earmuffs on. Not earmuffs, I didn't mean earmuffs, I meant like noise cancelling headphones playing loud music, so basically they couldn't hear anything, and they couldn't tell the difference in feel at all. So it just goes to show that it was only sound. Obviously, if you said to someone, oh, I'm going to buy this set of clubs because they sound better, most people would look at you like, what are you on about, you lunatic? Here we go then, another shot out of the trees. I swear every time I film a video on this hole, I hit a shot out of these trees. I'm just lasering it. I've got 140. I can't really get near the pin. I'm just going to try and chip something down between the two bunkers. If I can get on the green, that'll be a massive result. Oh, I could just hit the top. Enough mud. That was lovely. I'm going to hit the other ball as well from the middle of the fairway, because I do feel like me just topping it out of the trees is not really a great test for golf clubs. Right, this one I got exactly 130 to a back pin. It feels downwind, off the left. So I'm going to hit a 9-iron, which definitely wouldn't hit with my clubs, but I'm getting the impression these don't go as far. So I'll just hit a 9-iron, and I'm not going to say it. I'll hit a 9-iron. See what happens. God, I can't stop it. What can I say instead of see what happens? I'll see where it goes. I don't know what's going on. My face is in complete darkness. There we go. I seem to strike that okay. It's pitched kind of middle of the green in terms of front to back, a little bit left, and spun back a foot or two, so stopped pretty dead. But I mean, again, I think that would happen with my clubs. So some people say that blades, you get more control and it will stop quicker. Maybe that's true compared to like crazy distance irons, but then, you know, with a distance iron from that range, I'd be hitting like the equivalent of their kind of sand wedge. So with that extra height, maybe that will stop quicker. But the greens are fairly soft now. I've had a lot of rain the last few days, so I'm confident that hitting my wedge on my 9-iron, if I'd hit it all right, it would have stopped dead as well. So let's play my actual ball. This is going to be a sort of wedge shot with one of my wedges, so I'll just hit it. Oh, bladers, spin. So I've done 4 holes so far on camera. I've blocked one into the trees, I've hit 2 shots out of trees, I've missed 2 short putts, I've now just bladed a lob wedge. All I need now is like a shank and a 3-putt, and then I can just wrap up the video and go home. Quality golf. Yeah, the 9-iron I hit in, it's pitched there, stop there, flag is, I have to zoom in, it's that far away, over there, and there's the one that I bladed. Beautiful. I'll only film that one because that's my actual ball, and hopefully restore some self-respect. Right, I've gone on to a long par 4, it's the second hardest hole on the course. Normally I'd hit a driver down here, but I'm going to be looking into the sun and not see, I probably won't see where it goes, so I'm going to hit the 2-iron from this blade set in the hope that, you know, that stays in play and I can find it. There are times when it makes sense to hit something other than driver here, because basically if you go right you're dead, and if you go left, you know, you'll find it but you'll be in trees, and then it's tough from there, so it's not a crazy decision. I'm not going to see a thing here. This 2-iron looks petrifying. Right. horrible strike. It's straight, it's so far out the toe, it's gone nowhere. It's a bit annoying this. I've actually been playing quite well for the last few weeks, whereas before that I was struggling. So I was kind of hoping that I would come out and sort of swing it well enough to give the blades a fair go, really. But you know, I know from the last 2 months that if I toe duff my irons around, obviously it's not great, and the same as if I kind of toe duff these ones around, obviously it's not going to be great either. I mean, in fairness to that, it's gone nowhere compared to where I guess it should go, but it has stayed in play, and it's, you know, a 20-year-old bladed 2-iron. So if you want to talk about forgiveness, horrible swing, horrible strike, and I think it's on the fairway, so probably take that. Yeah, here it is on the right hand side of the fairway. I mean, I've got a million miles in. I'm not going to make this. If I hit a career 3-wood, I might get close, but I'm just going to hit the 2-iron again, see what happens. Oh, stop saying that, you bellend. If I hit it like I did the last one, it's going to take another two irons to get there, but hopefully I'll hit it a bit better and then be able to hit something else onto the green. The old practice divot. Oh dear, what's going on? Bit thin, but everything else was okay. But that was the line and shape that I was after. Just, yeah, right off the bottom. But again, you know, for a bad strike, it's probably done alright. I don't want you to think, because I certainly don't think that because I've come out and played 9 holes and hit the ball badly that, you know, blades are no good or that blades aren't for me. I know full well that if I was hitting it like this with my irons, I'd be having the same sort of struggles. Okay, so that 2-iron's gone probably about 220. Middle of the fairway, I've got 60 yards left, and I'm going to try and hit the same sort of pitched lob wedge that I hit on the last. I'm just watching because I was about to tee off. I might put the camera in front just to see if I can not blade it into it. Good. Right, I've got that left for a par, and to be honest, if you offered me that every time on this hole, I'd probably take it. You can rack up some numbers on this hole. Try and actually hole a putt. Right, uphill, a little left to right. Turns after the hole. Would like to hit one of these solid at some stage. I'm just going to try and loosen up and not worry about where it goes. I find that I'm just worried about what's going to happen. The grips are very disconcerting. I know that is an excuse, but yeah, I genuinely feel like I could completely let go of it, and I don't massively want to drop a club mid-swing or hit a shank on camera. This next hole is a par 4. Over there? No, it's over here. It's another one where you can hit a driver or a 3-wood if you want to be more aggressive and try and get somewhere around the green, which is what I normally do, but today I'm just going to hit like an iron up to the sort of corner, just short of a fairway bunker, and that should leave me like a wedge in. Okay, so I want to carry it about 180, so that'll be my 5-iron, so I'm going to hit the 4-iron. Yeah, let's do it. Where shall I put this? Oh, let's go straight down the line so you can all rip my swing to bits. Out the middle. So that was a bit out of the bottom and out of the neck. Now obviously the mishits are going not as far as I want them to go, but that's what would happen with my clubs, and I'm pretty sure that's what would happen with any clubs. There's no kind of magic club that means you can hit it anywhere on the face and it will go as far as you want it to. It's like if you're trying to cook a meal for 10 people and you only put in enough ingredients for 2 people, there's not like a magic saucepan that's going to kind of multiply the ingredients and turn it into a feast for 10. What am I talking about? But yeah, that's kind of what you expect, isn't it? I mean, surely that's just part of the skill of the game. You know, that's why even tour pros don't hit every shot pin high. You know, they sometimes come up short, they sometimes go long, because it's all about the variances. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. Who's trying to cook a meal for 10 and only puts in ingredients for 2? So I've only just missed the fairway, but got a bit of tree fun again. Yeah, see the flag in there, the red one. I'll laser it now, but I would guess we've got about 140. Right, so it's 130. I'm going to hit an 8 iron, which seems like a lot, but I haven't got anything past the pin yet, I don't think, so let's just go with that. This feels like loads of club, but it's a front pin, it's a bunker short, so I'd rather be a little bit past it than short. It's a much better strike. Yeah, it's probably gone where I expected it to. A little bit past the pin. So yeah, that's gone probably, what, I don't know, 8, maybe 10 yards past the pin. What was it, an 8 iron, not loads of wind, maybe a tiny bit into. So yeah, I'd say these are going pretty much exactly a club shorter than my irons, which is what I said I'd expect based on the loft. I mean, do I want my 8 iron to now be carrying like 140 max? Don't know. Maybe I don't hit it far enough to use blade. I mean, my normal 7 iron is 160, 8 iron 150, 9 140, that kind of yardage, so it's a pretty average distances, not stupidly short, not mega long. I thought that was going in, but it's now gone about 4 or 5 feet past. Oh, really? Well, I said I needed a 3-putt, and what was it, a shank, so I've just got the shank to go now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe I don't want my 8 iron to now only be carrying 140, but I know I could get a set of irons where my 7 iron's carrying like 190, but would that make life any easier for me? I really don't know. I guess it's all about just being able to hit different yardages consistently. It doesn't matter what club you use to do that. Right, I'm going to hit the 2 iron again. Will this be the shank we've all been waiting for? No. It's another toey straight one. Well, shank watch, it wasn't a shank, it was slightly out of the toe, but straight down the middle of the fairway. Again, it'll just be a little bit shorter than it probably should have gone. Sorry if this video isn't particularly helpful. It's not really helped me that much, I don't think. I guess, you know, would I be any worse off with blades? Probably not. Would I be any better off? Probably not. I think this is the exact reason why I've been thinking about getting new irons for the last 4 years instead of actually getting them, is that I don't know what I need, you know, what would help me, what would make things harder, and I also don't know how to find out the answer to that question. Obviously a lot of people will say, well, just go and get fitted, but even that's not going to give me like full confidence that I'm getting the right thing. My fear with going to get fitted for blades was always, okay, let's say I go down there and on the day I'm absolutely ripping it and everything's going out the middle, and they're like, yeah, fine, you know, here's your blades, happy days. And then 2 weeks later I've got them, I'm playing in a comp, and like today I'm hitting everything out the toe or whatever, and I then like, oh god, I can't use these. I mean, I do think, looking at where this has gone, this is like a lot shorter than my 4 iron would be, even with that kind of strike. So I do think maybe I'm struggling here. I've got like 150 to the middle. Let's go with a 7 iron. Oh, really? Another toey push. Yeah, I've pulled something. Second par in 7 holes. Got 2 holes left. I've got 1 bar of battery left, so let's hope things pick up in both respects. Alright, that was a decent drive on this par 5. You kind of got to hit it up the left if you want to go for it in 2. I mean, it's into the wind, and again, I'd need to hit 3 wood to get anywhere near it, so I'll just hit the 2 iron and see what that leaves me. Slight little fadey one. Yeah, it's alright. I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I was hoping, because I've been hitting the ball quite well lately, I was going to come out, keep hitting it well, and then I'd be able to kind of say to myself, well, you know, if you can hit these 20-year-old blades with knackered grips well, then you'll have no problem with a new set. But even though I know this isn't the club's fault and I'd be hitting it, you know, not great with my own set or a more forgiving set, still gives me that little bit of nervousness. And basically, my girlfriend has very kindly said that she'll buy me a set of irons, so I helped her out with a kind of couple of little work bits, and yeah, she said she'd do that, which obviously is very, very nice, but it kind of almost makes it harder. So if it was my own money, I wouldn't want to, you know, go and make a mistake and get the wrong thing, but when it's somebody else's, it's even worse, because like, absolute worst nightmare scenario for me would be that, you know, she pays for me to get the set of irons that I want, and then a few months down the line I'm sort of thinking, oh god, like, you know, I can't play with these. So yeah, I don't know what to do. What would you do? I think the most likely thing, knowing me, is that I just won't get any. I'll just stick with what I've got, because I don't want to take that risk of, you know, Kat spending her money on the wrong thing. Decent enough little pitch shot in there from 72 yards. Probably 3 jab this. Got a little downhill putt for birdie. Really? I was only joking about 3 putting it. I know I'm scoring terribly, but it's hard when you're filming. You always feel like you're rushing for some weird reason. And in fairness, I'm only really concentrating on the iron shots, so drives, putts, you know, even pitches with my normal wedges. I'm not too worried about what they do. So I've got 1 hole left. It's quite a long par 3. It's going to be into the wind off the right, so I'll hit 1 or 2 shots into here, hopefully make a hole in 1, and that'll convince me that I can definitely use blades. I can already tell that this video is going to be terrible, even compared to the usual standards, so sorry about that. But some good news, I'm going to the Ryder Cup this week. First time I've ever been to a Ryder Cup. Obviously it's still at Golf National, which I played a few months ago, so I'm absolutely buzzing. Right, it's 186, straight into the wind. I'm going to hit 2 iron again because, well, it hasn't gone that far the last couple of times I've hit it. Better strike, but another push. I'll hit 3 iron. I'm trying to start the ball actually on line rather than 30 yards right. See if that helps. Yeah, I think that one's on the back of the green. I think what I might have to do is a second stage to this and borrow my mate's MP18s, which have got, you know, proper grips on, and you know, I've used them a little bit before, but not for like a whole 9 holes or a whole round, so I'll see if he's willing to lend me them. I haven't hit any shanks, so hopefully that will make him more likely to give them up. Blades, 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 blades. Should we all get blades or nobody get blades? I don't know whether we should play blades. Maybe blades are quite consistent. I mean, I'm consistently hitting it into the trees on the right. Oh, we've got a gap. Yeah, the other one's pin high, but still, I mean, I've hit a 3 iron. What did I say it was? 185, 190 or something? I don't know, it's a bit wimpy. Right. Chip the wedge up. Chip my wedge up. Chip my wedge up. Right, I'm going to roll that in for my 3rd par of the day. That'll be a lovely 6 over front 9, and I'm going to go home. God. Does that count as a par? Doesn't, does it? But if you love blades and you thought that all I need to do was put a set in the bag and I suddenly start shooting the lights out, then that's definitely not the case. I think I have a 7 over there through 9 holes, which is not very good at all. I've actually been playing alright recently, so obviously I had my best ever round a couple of weeks ago when I shot 1 under. On Wednesday I played in the comp on that ridiculously windy day and I shot 75, so I got cut 0.1 from that. That's probably the strongest wind I've ever played in, so you know, not my lowest score this year by any means, but probably, kind of bearing in mind the conditions, one of the best. So yeah, like I say, maybe I'll do a kind of second part of this little experiment. But yeah, in the meantime, let me know what you think. Should this be enough to just put me off getting blades, put me off the idea of getting blades altogether, or should I try some other ones? Should I just go for a fitting where I can try like blades, you know, like with say Mizuno or Callaway? Like I said, you know, I love the MP18 blade, love the Apex MB, but I also like the look of the Mizuno MP18 SC, they're kind of split cavity, and the Callaway X Forged. So I guess if I went somewhere I could kind of try them. Anyway, thanks for watching another very substandard video. I'll see you next time, and in the meantime, come on Europe.